Are we live? Three minutes presentation, adukaprom 6 minutes will be given. Okay, it may be extended for another 2 minutes. Okay, so that is discretion. So otherwise, keep your answers short. Audience, keep your questions short. Okay. Are we live? உங்களுக்கு லிங்க் இல்லையோ? குரூப்பில் போட்டாங்களா? குரூப்பில் போட்டாங்களா? Yes. So welcome you all for the 5th panel of King's Panel edition 4. Yesterday we had 4 panels, okay, which took place on various topics. So today you are the final panel. Okay, it is a selection round. So whoever is selected will go to the final. And remember, supposing all 5 of you plus 1 is going to present online. Okay, so if all of you are doing well and you are scoring high, you all will be in finals. It is not that each panel 1 is selected, 2 is selected, not like that. Okay, so remember that in mind. And sometimes from a panel nobody may be representing also, okay, because their scores are low. Because in that case, we will choose who was the best in the panel and we will give prize. Okay, that is how we have planned. Okay, and regarding the parameters for marking, I will tell you, your presentation content is important, meaning relevance to the topic are you talking. Yesterday one person spoke very well, but the opposite of what is expected of the topic. It will go completely 0. Okay, so it is a substantial mark. Okay, then your way of body language, presentation, the innovations that you use, that also has points. A major part where you can score high, the larger chunk, is the question answer side. Okay, because whether it's essay or preparation round for the panel discussion, I know that you guys may use a lot of technology and with less effort you can present the data, but question and answer is where you can show your spontaneity, can show your individuality, and the depths of preparation can be easily identified. So that is the place where we will be giving you the maximum weightage. Okay, that has determined the final victors yesterday and all. Okay, so even relevance of content, all the things I said earlier, some people scored high in question and answer, so that they are almost to be selected to the final. Of course, after your presentation and question answer session only I can assess who are all into the final, but they are almost in. Okay, so remember this in your mind. Okay, and sensitive issues. Okay, I would like to say, because yesterday they brought a lot of sensitive issues, it should not be a fight or a debate or argument. Rather, you can ask sensitive questions, but ask it in a nice way. Okay, so think twice how to frame the question. Okay, and then you can put, because you are also going to ask the question, so put it that way. Okay, a palatable, will say acceptable way you have to put your questions. The other thing I noted is names, bringing in names. Okay, so this is an academic platform. Of course, we have the right to be open in naming people, but at the same time we should be very cautious enough. Okay, if you are going to give a positive example and name some person or institute, that's fine, not a problem, I'm appreciating them. But when you are telling negative, you should not use this platform, that is restricted. Okay, I'm not just saying that try to put no. Okay, but still a relevant question can be asked. If it is judged by court, you can say. If it is in news, no. Okay, if this accusation is there, no. But final judgment has come and punishment has been meted out, then you can say. Okay, otherwise it's like we are trying that particular person, which is not acceptable by the court of law. It includes contempt of court. Okay, like when sometimes media discusses a particular case which is already there under the court's view, they call it sub judice. Okay, then it may invite contempt of court and issues. Okay, so we may say that a particular issue is there, then it is under the court's view. Okay, so from that any inference you have to take, that you can do. Finally, refrain from using for negative examples any institute's or person's name. Okay, that would be better. But the issue you can bring in. For example, yesterday they were talking about the cough syrup. Okay, medical, you are doing on medical, corruption on medicine, health, yes. Cough syrup related issue, they never named the particular company's name. Okay, it's not that because death has happened in that case you have to use, problem. But be refrained. Okay, until it is compulsory, don't use. Bring the issue, not the name, because it's not the purpose of blaming, it is to understand the problem and give solutions. Okay, we shall start the panel. Yes, Mahesh, you can start your presentation. We have Mahesh, okay, is going to join the panel online. Yes, Mahesh, introduce yourself, your stakeholder, and then you can start your presentation. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Good morning, sir. I am Mahesh and I self-represent accreditation from public administration. So, corruption is not a story of few individuals. It is a reform of what a society rewards, tolerates and excuses. This is not a modern trend, but a age-old trend. Good morning, distinguished panelists and esteemed audience. As an academician and stakeholder from public administration, I wish to place this discussion not as a moral statement, but as an institutional diagnosis of how politics, bureaucracy, two pillars of governance sometimes become partners in action rather than delivery. Corruption is not an economic offense only. It is multiple dimension. It is not an Indian problem alone. It is a global governance dilemma. The World Bank estimates corruption claims annually 2.6 trillion, roughly 5% of global GDP. We say largest democracy in the world, yet Transparency International ranks our country as ranking the out of 180 nations. We say more number of political parties, but the recent survey says in India there are about 30% of politicians come from the same dynasty. In theory, politics gives direction and bureaucracy provides execution. In practice, direction becomes manipulation and execution becomes exploitation. If anyone wants to get a job, maybe in private or government, they shouldn't have any pending cases. But you will get ticket to participate in the election. According to India, over 40% of MPs have pending criminal cases. This is because of opaque political financing, anonymous donations, corporate funding, and this erodes accountability. In bureaucracy, it's huge discretionary power, weak accountability, rent evasion enables rent seekings. Transforms and postings often become instruments of reward and punishment. The collusion between politicians and officials for mutual gain has become instruments in procurement, contracts, and even welfare schemes. Not all bureaucrats, some carries ascriptive values to them, that is, serving their own circle, often favoring immunity. This weaknesses public credibility. On paper, we have reforms like RTA Act 2005, but in practice, persistent vacancy in central and state information commissions. Delays in disposal of cases and excessive use of official secret act clauses. Dilute integrity. We also have the loophole of the act, but reality this impact remains limited due to lack of independence and political will. It is not only the politicians or bureaucrats who are being corrupted. We as citizens also share responsibility. It is easy to blame the system, but it is difficult to examine our own work.
Mahesh,
when we want after
Mahesh, your time is over. Conclude.
Okay, sir. How many of them do observing British property? So, all this leads to erosion of trust between the citizen and state. To restore the trust, we must not only punish corruption but promote transparency and participation. I conclude
Okay, good. Now questions for the audience and the panel. He is discussing politics, corruption in politics and bureaucracy. His views are represented as a academician from public administration background. Okay, a professor in university who teaches public administration is an academician, and his views on corruption in politics and bureaucracy, you heard his views, and now you can ask the question. Is Satish first.
As an public administrator, what will be your measures for preventing corruption? As you said, it is multidimensional. How will you be preventing the corruption as a public administrator? As you said, that is multidimensional.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So, as a public administrator, I would suggest implementing e-governance in all aspects. For example, in the disposing of contracts. So this is how we can. So not all the aspects we can bring e-governance, but wherever it is possible. So there we must bring e-governance, so that by that way we can reduce corruption.
Yeah, give the
thank
mic.
you.
So,
Hello.
any questions? Raise the hand now itself. Yes.
Sir, good morning. கேக்குதா?
Ask again.
Hello.
Yes, okay.
குட் மார்னிங். ஸோ எனக்கு வந்து ஆஸ் அகாடமிஷனாக உங்கள்கிட்ட
கேக்குதா?
ஓகே. ஸோ இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா செகண்ட் ஏஆர்சி ரெக்கமெண்டட் வந்து மினிமம் பொலிட்டிக்கல் இன்டர்ஃபரன்ஸ் இன் பியூரோக்ரஸி, ஓகேவா? ஸோ அதில் வந்து இப்போ அதில் என்ன தான் இப்போ கவர்னன்ஸ் வந்தாலுமே, ஸோ அந்த ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபருக்கோ ஒரு அப்ரைசலுக்கோ சைன் பண்ண வேண்டியது ஒரு ஹையர் அஃபிஷியல் தான். ஸோ பட் அதில் இன்னுமே பொலிட்டிக்கல் இன்டர்ஃபரன்ஸ் இருக்கே. ஆஸ் அகாடமிஷனாக பப்ளிக் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் என்ன கொண்டு வரலாம்?
ஸோ இந்த டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர்ஸும் இதில் வந்து இன்னும் மெரிட்டோக்ரஸியை வந்து இன்னும் ஸ்ட்ரென்தன் பண்ணலாம். ஸோ when you strengthen the meritocracy, ஸோ மெரிட்டோக்ரஸி ஸ்ட்ரென்தன் பண்ணி லைக் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர்ஸ் இது பண்ணலாம், லைக் பொலிட்டிக்கல் இன்டர்ஃபரன்ஸை கம்மி பண்ணலாம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ரெகுலராக வந்து ஒரு சிவில் சர்வன்ஸோட அவங்களுடைய ஜாப்ஸோட ரெகுலர் ஆடிட் பண்ணி அவங்களோட பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் இது பண்ணி, ஸோ அது பப்ளிக் வந்து ஓப்பனாக தெரியப்படுத்தி, ஸோ மெரிட்டோக்ரஸி வந்து இது பண்ணி அதே மாதிரி பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் அப்ரைசல், அதாவது லைக் எப்படி எல்லா மற்ற இதுலலாம் பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் அப்ரைசல் இருக்கோ, ஸோ அது மாதிரியே ஸோ சிவில் சர்வன்ஸும் பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் அப்ரைசல் படிச்சு அது வந்து ஓப்பனாக லைக் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிஞ்சபடி, லைக் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எல்லாரும் சிவில் சர்வன்ஸோட அவங்களுடைய இன்னோவேஷன்ஸ்லாம் பப்ளிக் தெரியப்படுத்தி, ஸோ அதுலேயும் மெரிட்டோக்ரஸி மூலியமா அப்ஜெக்டிவிட்டி மூலியமா அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அப்படி எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியப்படுத்தும் போது அவங்களுடைய இன்னோவேட்டிவ் ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் தெரியப்படுத்தும் போது, ஸோ அப்போ வந்து அவங்களுடைய இன்னோவேட்டிவ் ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியப்படுத்தும் போது அது வந்து பொலிட்டிக்கல் இன்டர்ஃபரன்ஸ் வந்து கம்மிப்படுத்தலாம்.
ஓகே சார், தேங்க்யூ.
ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் மை வியூ.
What do you think about youth politics? Because North was in North side they are having different youth politics. In university students can participate. In South the politician can handling the youth politics too. What's your view on it?
So yeah, for example, in North India they conduct the elections in university. So that may be the platforms for future politicians. But in South India we don't have that kind of elections. But in South India too, we have, like in Kerala we have youth like they in universities they conduct elections. So in South India we have to bring in reforms to get the youth into the politics by giving them some elections like as we practice in the Delhi University elections. So we have to provide the youth a platform to perform to engage in the politics. This is how we can bring youth into the politics, and we also have to give the awareness to the youth during their college days or right from the school days. We have to teach them what the politics is, not their ideologies, but how the politics performs, how the government performs. So in South India, by giving the platform like North India, like in university elections, This can bring them this can bring them awareness, and this can provide them a platform to perform future. This is my view on this.
Okay, my question is, do you think passive political funding in research and education is quietly creating an academic bias?
No, it's a bit your question, and I don't understand.
Do you think passive political funding in research and education is quietly creating an academic bias?
No, I don't think so that, because like they are funding for us. It is our own perception. I don't think so that it is creating a bias. I don't think so that.
That is a good question. Yes, Kadambari.
Okay, I have a question. If ethics applies in real life, why corruption still prevails? Does ethics as a syllabus end when convenience begins? Do I have to repeat the question?
Yeah, that was. No. That is what even I have to convey in my speech, but as time only. So this is so. If we as a citizen, we also have the responsibility to have some ethics in our personal life. For example, if we want someone to get into some government institutions or government offices, let's say, people as when they want to get their work done faster, they are ready to give that money. But if others do, they are not accepting. So it is us who gives money. Even though they don't ask money, we first give them money. So what my opinion on this is, we have to restrict ourselves by involving in such activities, and we should give some awareness to the people that we should not enter in these kind of activities. So we should not only blame the politicians and bureaucrats, we also share the responsibility in corruption. So we ourselves engage in these kind of activities and blame the politicians, bureaucrats. So before that, so we have to be and do the proper civic duties to curb the corruption.
Okay. Am I audible, Mahesh? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, my question is, there is accusation that postings in academics, especially professor post, vice principal, vice chancellor, is not determined by the number of degrees, but determined by the number of shoot cases. Okay. So my question is, how do you solve this problem? Okay, in recent times it is a big thing, corruption as a nexus between academician and politician. When these accusations are coming, as an academician, what is the solution that you want to provide?
Sir, of course, I do accept that in recent times it is being increasing. So what I would suggest is that the same way which I referred for the civil servants, the same way I also prefer for the academicians also. So in a way, there should be, when the transfers or when the positions, like when they are getting the promotions, so there should be a mechanism that there should be formation of internal committee in that university itself. And secondly, we should evolve from a wide range of achievements from them. For example, how many years they have been serving, and what are the achievements they have done. So all these things must be added. This should be as a criteria. And secondly, what I would suggest is that so government has to, what I would suggest, government has to prescribe what are the criteria openly and explicitly. That should be made transparency. What are they considering to promote the academics. So this should be my message.
Okay, do you think the governor must continue to remain as the chancellor of universities, state universities? Because that is why politics is involved into academia, right? Because the appointment to vice chancellor post has been a political posting. So do you think still the governor should do?
Sir, no, sir. As Supreme Court suggested last year, it is not mandatorily that governor must continue as vice chancellor, sir. So Supreme Court has given a verdict last year like that. It is not necessarily that governor must be vice chancellor, because that is not mentioned in the constitution, and it is also.
It is mentioned in the constitution. Anyway, your opinion is appropriate, relevant. Thank you, Mahesh, and especially joining us in online. Yesterday we tested, for the first time, how it would work in online. He cooperated. Tomorrow it may be useful for you also, Safika. Yes. Yeah. Hope.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, President.
Yes. What is your name? Yeah, Amrita.
Sir?
Yes, Mahesh. No, Mahesh, thank you. Your session is over. We are moving on to the next candidate. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Please clap your hands. Amrita, tell me your area, the topic and the stakeholder.
Corruption in healthcare, public health administration.
So you'll be doing the last, okay? So it's based on first come first. You'll be before her. Okay. Now I call upon Sharumati. She'll be talking on the topic religion and personal life. How it is impacting corruption, whether positively or negatively. Her stakeholder position is legal activist. Legal activist, okay, maybe a lawyer, a non-lawyer, legal activist. They like filing the public interest litigation, actively involving in awareness programs like that. That is the position. Yes, you can start, ma.
So my PPT.
You want PPT? You help. Desktop layer. You are comfortable with that mic? Yes. You have Xerox number? But maybe which one? No, you don't have to come. He only has the access. எதில் download பண்ணிருக்கீங்க?
மொபைலில் ஷேர் பண்ண முடியல, சிஸ்டமில் ஷேர்.
Hi all, I'm Sharamati from Madurai and I'm here as a legal activist. So as a legal activist, I often speak about corruption in government offices or corporate boardrooms. But today, I want to draw attention to a quieter and dangerous form of corruption, the one that lives within our personal life. Because corruption doesn't begin in the parliament, it begins in the past between right and easy. As we see, corruption starts from home school, continues to work, and begins by the small act when a student cheats an exam, when a large sum of money is paid to get into the college, and finally in your workplace. So, it's a job finally, it is attacked. When we use influence for shortcuts, they are not harmless act, but they are seed of national corruption. We are the one who choose convenience over conscience. When we accept that this is how things work, and sometimes just once, and we often ask, why is justice delayed? Why are politicians corrupt? But the truth is, corruption in power is the only reflection of corruption in people. As Savayar said, "Adakkamindri aaluvar naadu aliyum." Corruption in personal conduct of leaders destroys a nation. The everyday form of corruption, when we justify small lie, small dishonest, and moral decay, our moral compass doesn't point north; it points whatever it's convenient. It is like less GPS and more of guess positioning system. We have acts to solve this, but do you think acts alone can solve this alone? Around us, we see fake documents and paying gifts and influence decision and misuse of religious fund. So, we are trying to fight against systematic injustice. But what about the system we built within ourselves? And what about the law we break in our own hearts? And we have laws to fight against this too. And we have legal reference in fundamental rights and fundamental duties. We, as a legal activist, I believe that fighting corruption isn't only about stronger laws, it is about the stronger values. We want clean politics, clean governance, and clean street. But when it comes to our own habits, we say, let's sweep it under the carpet and blame the government and law for the dust. To break this cycle of corruption, we should have some question to ourselves, we should ask. And we have the consequence also accordingly. How can we break this cycle? Ethical responsibility. You should question yourself. Are we ethical only when it's convenient? And legal awareness. Do we fight injustice only when it costs us nothing? And accountability. Are we accountable? Are we a whistleblower? And the leadership. Do we speak truth only when it costs us nothing? No. If each of us stop bending the rule for personal conduct, we will be destroying the nation with corruption. So we can break the cycle. Let us choose courage over comfort. As Thiruvalluvar said, "Saman செய்து சீர்தூக்கும் கோல் போல் அமைந்தொருப்பால் கோடாமை சான்றோரு கனி." Stand like a balanced rod that divides rightly with a calm, unbiased equity of soul. So law can punish corrupt, but only an unbiased soul can prevent it. I am telling that it is the root, is the cause of the problem, not the branch causing the systematic decay. Thank you.
Good. 3 minutes. Yes.
As a legal activist, we are seeing law and constitution as a soul of Indian democracy.
Yes.
I forgot my question. Do you think, in case of Ahmedabad High Court judge,
Yeah.
we are saying that law can change everything regarding corruption, but in the Department of Legal Affairs also there is corruption persisting. What is your view on that?
I think I will answer the question in the way it is understandable. It is not we started it is a cycle. It is people who started it. So we cannot blame every legal activist getting it. We are here to fight against. I am the one who is fighting against, okay? So I can tell that it depends upon. If you start giving, they start getting. So it is the people who started without having a thought that we should respect the justice and respect the laws we have in our constitutions.
Yeah, next.
Thank you.
இப்போ டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ் அண்ட் டவுரி இஷ்யூலாம் இருக்குல்ல கோர்ட்டில், லைக் இப்போ ஐபிசி செக்ஷன் 498A படி த ஹஸ்பண்ட் வாஸ் பனிஷபிள் ஃபார் 3 years அந்த மாதிரி இருக்குது. இப்போ பிஎன்எஸில் அது 85-86 மாட்டாங்க. இப்போ வாட் இஃப் தட் ஒய்ஃப் வாஸ் நாட் எ விக்டம், லைக் ஷீ மிஸ்யூஸ் த பவர், அதாவது அந்த பொண்ணு ஒரு வெஞ்சன்ஸ்க்காகவோ இல்லைனா அலிமனி ப்ராஃபிட்டுக்காகவோ அந்த பவரை மிஸ்யூஸ் பண்ணி ஃபேக் அலிகேஷன் வச்சா என்ன பண்ணுறது மேண்டேட். ஏன்னா அக்கார்டிங் டு சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் மோர் தென் 5% ஆஃப் அலிகேஷன் இந்த கேஸில் ஃபேக் அலிகேஷன் ப்ரூவ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அப்போ ப்ரூவ் பண்ணாத எத்தனை இருக்கும் அந்த மாதிரி லைக்
I can't understand.
Is it related to corruption?
It's one form of corruption,
Yes,
sir.
it's
Personal
form of
life corruption.
Personal life corruption.
Like using of law to misuse.
Got it?
I don't get it. It's correctly
Like-
the question.
Repeat.
நான் சொல்ல மச்சான் டவுரி அந்த மாதிரிலாம் இருக்குல்ல
In Tamil, in case I can understand it better.
இப்போ மேரேஜ் பண்ணிவிட்டு ஹஸ்பண்ட் வந்து என்னை அடிச்சுதான் சொல்லி போய் சொல்லி கேஸ் போட்டு அவங்க வந்து காசு பார்க்குறாங்க, இல்லைன்னா காசுக்காகவோ இல்லை பகைக்காகவோ மாட்டி விடுறாங்க பொய்யா அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறேன். இதுக்காக இப்போ மேனுக்கு என்ன சேஃப்டியான லா இருக்குது புரியுது?
That's why I'm telling that it is not alone law can help you. Your values also should help you, right, somehow. So you should also think about value building. I can get you justice, but how can I build your values? It should be built from the school. It should be built from your home, right? So how it is possibly blaming everything on justice?
He's asking whether any
Yes, there is a law can protect even
men.
It is there to protect men also. It is not equally. So if you don't do anything, you can fight for justice.
என்ன கேட்குறான் அப்படின்னா, இப்போ ஜீவனாம்சம்னு ஒன்று இருக்குல்ல, ஒரு லீகல் ப்ரொவிஷன் இருக்குல்ல, அதை நிறைய பெண்கள் முக்காவாசி பெண்கள் மிஸ்யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. அதை எங்களை காப்பாற்றுறதுக்கு என்ன லீகல்
But if
ப்ரொவிஷன்
I tell
இருக்கு?
the answer, I will be looking like a feminist. We are not asking dowry to marry you, right? So it is
டவுரி
எங்களுக்கு that's like அந்த ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி ரைட்ஸ் அவங்க கேட்க தானே சார் செய்வாங்க.
Okay.
We are not asking dowry. So you are the one who is asking dowry, and you are the guys who ended up for justice in the end. So you can't blame everything on.
As a legal activist, won't you fight for men's rights?
I will fight definitely. If the mistake is not on, I will definitely fight for you and get you justice.
Okay.
It's my right and your right to get justice.
ஓகே. ஸோ வந்து இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம லாவில் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எமோஷனல் சீட்டிங் அப்படின்ற ஒரு வார்த்தையே கிடையாது.
Yes.
ஸோ அப்போ நான் எப்படி வந்து என் பர்சனல் லைஃப்பில் இருக்கிற கரப்ஷனை எதிர்த்து நான் இங்கே எப்படி போகிறேன்? நீங்கள் சொல்கிற வேல்யூஸ் எதுவுமே எனக்கு ஜஸ்டிஸபிள் இல்லை. கரெக்டாக நான் கோர்ட்டில் போய் நான் திருவள்ளுவர் இப்படி சொல்லியிருக்காருன்னு என்னால் சொல்ல முடியாது. எனக்கு அந்த இடத்துல தேவை லா.
எஸ்.
ஸோ அப்போ நான் அந்த மாதிரி இடத்துல நான் என்ன பண்ண முடியும்னா, எனக்கு வேல்யூ தெரியும், ஆப்போசிட்டில் இருக்கவங்க தப்பு பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, அப்போ எனக்கு அது ஜஸ்டி நான் அந்த வேல்யூ ஃபாலோ பண்ணுறேன், அவங்க அதை ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும்னு நான் எதிர்பார்க்க முடியாது. அப்போ எனக்கு அது ஜஸ்டிஸபிளாக இருக்கணும்ல. நான் ஜஸ்டிஸபிளாக இல்லாததை நான் ஏன் ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும்னு நான் கேட்குறேன்.
Sir, our constitution is made with number of leaders who knows values, who know value of the nation. Don't they think that they don't know the value of you, value of your feelings? We have cheating act, everything, every minor mistakes you do, the harmless act you do, that is a corruption that's made in the future. So they start from the base and they have laws for you too. We have justice, rule of law, everything, right, according to the nature law. So depending upon you, we can say the justice.
நான் கேட்டது
In this case, I'll just ask you a question, with your permission.
Sir, please.
Yes. What do you think the constitution and law should stand with the stronger or the weaker? What is your
சார்
opinion?
ஸ்ட்ராங்கர் வீக்கர்னு கிடையாது சார். யார் சைடு வந்து ஜஸ்டிஸ் இருக்கோ அவங்க சைடு நிற்கணும்.
இல்லை அஃப்கோர்ஸ் இண்டிவிஜுவலாக நீங்கள் பேசுகிறீங்க. as a group or identity, gender identity-யாக இருக்கட்டும், caste identity-யாக இருக்கட்டும், religious identity-யாக இருக்கட்டும், on whose side the law should be
definitely
favorable?
weaker section.
அந்த வீக்கர் செக்ஷனுக்கு இருக்கும்போது அதில் ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவல் அதை மிஸ்யூஸ் பண்ணால் இஸ் அ ப்ராப்ளம். அதுதான் நீங்கள் கொஸ்டின் கேட்குறீங்க, கரெக்டாக? அதுக்கு உங்களோட இது வந்து அதாவது லைக் த ஆக்ட் டு ப்ரிவெண்ட் த அட்ராசிட்டிஸ் அகேன்ஸ்ட் SC/ST, டவுரி ஆக்ட், டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ் ஆக்ட் இஸ் மிஸ்யூஸ்டு பை சர்டன் இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸ். பிரச்சனையே நடந்திருக்காது. For example, recently Haryana IPS officer has committed suicide on the grounds that he has been harassed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they have invoking prevention of atrocities against SC and ST.
Yes.
Okay, so அந்த மாதிரி கேசஸ்ல என்ன மாதிரி ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க, நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்கன்னு தான் அவங்க கேட்குறாங்க.
We have legal references for Prevention of Corruption Act, cheatings, like Indian Penal.
What you will do as a legal activist?
I will take stand with who is right and then protect them. That is a case I can do, right?
Next question. You've answered. Won't you file personal interest litigation for them?
That is a corruption, sir. So I won't be helping them. If it is a wrong, I should point out it is a wrong. Then what is the point of being a legal activist? I'm here. So I should not take a personal thing into the.
Okay.
I feel like most of you will be from judiciary background.
Yes.
I feel like you guys are too biased. The legal activists are too biased. Like there are so many corruptions happening in judiciary sector itself. But you guys are blind at that spot and you are focusing everywhere else and pointing it out. Judiciary people, they have to post their asset information, what are all the details they have to post it. But very few numbers are doing it. There is no voice against that. But you guys are pointing out the public service officers and other people like they are doing this mistake. But you guys have a lot of mistake in your own sector. What you are doing against
Yes,
that?
ma'am, I will answer this. We have given the power to take us into your hands because it's a parliament, okay? You are electing the members who can take us from our position, right? So you should be wise in electing your representatives also. So they can help you to point out what's mistake in judiciary.
Saskia, time is over.
You got
Yeah.
the point?
Okay, so
Like you're,
taking any actions against those
yeah, not all is doing corruption, right? Some are here talking against corruption. So we are like taking stands. And I think people also should take stands to fight, to elect your representatives in a way that they'll question judiciary also. They have the power to.
This is more of a clarity basis.
Okay.
Do you think law's delay in punishing the corrupt itself is a manifestation of the institutional corruption in judiciary?
No, I can't.
The law's delay in punishing the corrupt people, itself is a manifestation of the institutional corruption in judiciary?
I don't think justice delayed here. Like everyone is making. If there is a corruption at some place, I need a victim. I need someone to tell that the corruption is happening there. So no one is coming up with it. Then how can the term justice delayed itself? It is not a good thing, I would say.
So you would cite that the corruption happens because of legal complexity of the case?
No, we have a laws to fight against you, but not. I am telling that they are not taking stands to come and fight for themselves. They are not taking accountable laws.
ஹாய் லீகல் ஆக்டிவிஸ்ட்டாக உங்களுடைய இப்போ ரிலீஜியன்ஸை வச்சு கரப்ஷனில் ஈடுபடுறவங்களால ஹியூமன் ரைட்ஸ் வயலேட் ஆகுதுன்னு அதை பற்றி உங்கள் ரெஃபரன்ஸ்?
I have a quote for this actually. Really, like religious faith should be pure. It is not profitable. So it is about their values and I think they should have, like values also should be there. I have lot to fight against them. And it is their faith and their purity. I can't question that, right? They are making it profitable.
Yeah, thank you.
thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, next I request Kadambari to speak on the topic politics and religion, and your stakeholder will be journalist. She represents journalists. She is going to speak about corruption and politics and bureaucracy. Yes, sir.
Respected jury, co-panelists and fellow citizens, a very good morning. I, Kadambari, stand before you as a journalist, not as a storyteller of fiction, but as a custodian of facts, not as an observer of corruption, but as its unwilling witness. Corruption in politics and bureaucracy is not a recent headline. It's an old story with new characters. From the corridors of power to the counters of public offices, corruption has donned many disguises. File fees, facilitation charges, miscellaneous amount. But beneath the euphemism lies the same truth, the price tag we put on conscience. The deepest scars of a nation are inflicted by whispers of silent transaction, by breach of trust, by those who sold integrity for influence and honesty at the altar of personal gain. It is not simply a breach of law, but a chronic contagion infecting the sinews of governance, society and psyche. Corruption is not born in opposite. It germinates in hearts and minds when integrity dies a silent death. According to Transparency International, India ranks 96 out of 180 countries in the Corruption Perception Index, an improvement but still reminds us that trust remains our rarest currency. As a journalist, I ask, where does this rot begin? This begins not in palaces, but in petty bargains of conscience and opacity. When bureaucracy becomes red tape instead of redressal, when political offices become enterprises, to the scam that topples economies, stalling innovation and opportunity. Corruption festers with the crevices of compromised accountability and thrives in silence. True change begins not with sweeping legislation or grand gestures, but with a simple refusal in youth who raise questions, a million small acts of defiance. Every bribe is a story buried. Every scam is a syllabus of ethics unlearned. The media, being the fourth pillar of democracy, carries a sacred moral and ethical obligation to inform its citizens. News must be fact-based, not favor or flavor-enhanced. Language is not mere words, it is a living force that can make or break, heal or divide, enlighten or destroy. Upholding the standards of journalism is the need of the hour, not just in stylistic discretion and reportage, but in substance and soul, as semantics is not mere structure. The power of press comes with the burden of precision. Journalism today must evolve from breaking news to fixing systems. We need institutional integrity, real-time public audit portals, AI-driven corruption trackers, and a stronger whistleblower protection law that defends not just data but democracy. Journalism will show you the stories of exemplars like Ashok Kemka and also expose the examples of people who should not be taken as an example like Ashok Singhvi. Our responsibility exists between these two truths to celebrate the honest and to confront the dishonest, because democracy depends on both revelation and remembrance. Journalism is not a script but a solemn responsibility. I am a journalist, not an enemy of power, but a professional who will use the power to be a mirror. And until that reflection is clean, neither will I lower my pen nor my voice. Thank you.
Questions? So he is a journalist talking on corruption, politics.
I think that journalist is not independent. Speaking about corruption, journalist is having affiliation with political parties. How does you stand on that?
Okay, so paid news, selective narratives, and corporate influence are our own industry's own viruses. So that is why we need stronger whistleblower protection for journalists who dares to expose the loopholes. So we also have certain restrictions, like we have code of ethics such as the Society of Professional Journalists Code, and we also have like Article 91 clause 19(1)(a), right to freedom of speech and expression is subject to reasonable restrictions. So we also have judicial oversight, and we have certain self-regulatory bodies like News Broadcasting and Digital Standards Authority, Editors Guild of India, and Press Council of India to uphold the standards of journalism and to make journalists accountable.
Yeah, next, yes, she's after.
So it is a complementary to the previous question. What do you think the line separating between investigative journalism and political lobby is slowly being buried due to the political scenario of any country?
Okay, so there should always be a fine boundary between professional and personal choices. As a journalist, my personal choices should not influence the choices that I make in a professional environment. So I can like a political party, but that should not influence my view related to the political party. Because secondly, we can also enforce cross-ownership limits to politicians so that they cannot own news outlets that report on them. Thirdly, we can empower public service journalism, funds like the UK's BBC model, where funding is independent to government influence. And finally, we can promote citizen journalism backed by blockchain verified fact checking, which ensures truth is time-stamped and tamper-proof.
Yeah, next.
Okay, my next question is, what do you think about the corruption-related news? Some are even corrupted in a way that it doesn't appear to us. So, how are you accountable to the people if it doesn't appear?
I don't know. Can you repeat the question?
Like some corruption-related news, it doesn't even come in the newspaper or something. It doesn't even come in front of people. It isn't even corrupted in that way. So, how are you accountable to the people?
Okay, so I think the news that are verified, that are backed by factual data, only that appears on the news. So whatever is being spread in the name of defamation or whatever is just, the misinformation and disinformation does not come on the news.
like how are you accountable in a way that you're only showing the news which you're getting, or you're hiding something? Like accountability.
You asked the question?
Accountability. How?
Okay.
Accountability will be sent into accounts.
Sorry, sir.
Like how will be the journalist accountable to the people? Like whatever the news you show, how are you accountable? I'm asking.
Yeah,
You are
so that's why.
selecting certain news, certain corruption you are not bringing up. So
Okay.
what is the accountability she is asking?
So she's saying that there are certain things that are just, showing
being
favoritism and.
Yes, you are being
Okay.
choosy.
Okay, so we want to say that sensationalism at times blurs the line between fact and fiction, but media houses also values truth over tact. So that's what I wanted to say. And at the same time, when people turn to news, they don't seek noise. They seek truth which are unbending and which are unapologetically clear. So that's the news we want to portray to the people. We cannot spread news that aren't factually proven, right? That will count for misinformation. So that's the accountability we hold as media houses. And as journalists, we also as much as we have the freedom of right to expression, of speech and expression, we also have to be very cautious of what we say, because it comes with the burden of precision and accuracy.
Rahul, yeah, he has a question.
Yeah, you said you are publishing the informations which are backed with factual data. But what I think is that, like, whenever any issue is happening, when any committee is set up to investigate that issue, even before a report is provided by that committee, you guys are publishing narratives favor of any particular party or any particular individual. Even a report, official report is being published, you guys are publishing certain narratives to make up the people's mind. How you want to address this?
Okay. So there are certain news, there are news that can change the narrative, and that narrative can also influence the political views, the judicial redress, right? So at the same time, responsible journalism will also balance fairness and freedom. So the aim is not to be the judge, but to ensure that truth comes out and not hides in the dark. So that is we're not trying to be the judge, but we're just trying to ensure that truth comes out anyway.
Hello. Good morning. ஸோ தமிழ் கம்ஃபர்டபுள் தானே? ஓகே. ஸோ இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நீங்கள் சொன்னீங்களா அந்த அசோக் கெமிக்காலாம் நாங்கள் தான் காட்டுறோம், எக்ஸ்போஸ் பண்ணுறோம், அந்த மாதிரி நல்ல ஆட்கள்லாம் இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு. ஸோ இந்த கேஸ் டி ரூபா அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஐபிஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர், அவங்க ஒரு சிஎம் அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணாங்க. எந்த ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட்டுமே அந்த சிஎம் யாருன்னு சொல்லவே இல்லையே, என்ன ரீசன்? நான் சர்ச் பண்ணேன், அந்த சிஎம் நேம் எந்த ஒரு வெப்சைட்லையும் கிடையாது, எந்த நியூஸ். ஆனால் அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அப்படி எதுக்கு போடணும்? எந்த சிஎம் அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணாங்கன்னு ஏன் போடலை? அப்போ பொலிட்டிக்கல் இன்டர்ஃபரன்ஸ் உங்கள்கிட்ட இருக்கா, இல்லை பயாஸ்னஸ் இருக்கா?
Okay, I wouldn't say that it's biased. It might not have been proven by the court. So like கோர்ட்டில் ப்ரூவ்
அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணி அவங்க ஹைகோர்ட்டில் அப்பீல் பண்ணி
ட்ரையல்ல இருந்திருக்கலாம்ல, அது ப்ரூவனா இருக்காது. So proven data இல்லாம we cannot reveal the names. So that's what I'm saying. If it is
Rahul, அது
if it's an accusation, we cannot. Yes.
Whether it is an arrest or whether she exposed an exemption given
to
arrest
பண்ணி ஹைகோர்ட்ல அப்பீல் பண்ணிருக்காங்க சார்.
But still it's not proven, right? It might still.
Okay, we will speak. Next question.
So பெரிய ஸ்கேம்ஸ் எல்லாம் எக்ஸ்போஸ் பண்ணுற ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட் இல்லை, கரெக்டாக? ஸோ ஆஸ் எ ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட்டாக நீங்கள் ஒரு எக்ஸ்போஸ் பண்ண வேண்டியதை ஏன் அதை பண்ண மாட்டீங்க? நீங்கள் ப்ரொபகண்டா பண்ணுறீங்களே தவிர எக்ஸ்போஸ் ஏன் பண்ண மாட்டீங்கன்ற.
ஓகே, ஸோ ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட்டுக்கு இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஸ்ட்ராங்கர் விசில் ப்ளோயர் ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் தேவை. ஏன்னா we lost so many journalists who on the line of duty for just saying the truth. We have, like, I do have data for that. We have Mukesh Chandrakar, a freelance journalist YouTuber who was murdered in the conflict-ridden Bastar region of Chhattisgarh. So he was found in septic tank on January 3 for speaking the truth. We also have Rajiv Pratap, the Uttarkashi-based journalist who exposed corruption in local governments and institutions. So he went missing for a few days, and then he was found in Bhagirathi River with his body recovered on September 18, 2025. We don't have stronger whistleblower protection for the journalist. When we have a stronger whistleblower protection, we can be even more, honest.
என்னன்னா இப்போ ஏதாச்சும் பெரிய கரப்ஷன் கேஸோ இல்லை ஏதாச்சும் பொலிட்டிக்கலாக ஏதோ கேஸ் வரும்போது ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட் என்ன பண்ணுறீங்கன்னா ஒரு 5 செகண்ட் மட்டும் அந்த நியூஸ் போட்டு மற்ற நியூஸ்லாம் இப்போ தேவையில்லாத செலிபிரிட்டி குழந்தை பிறந்திருக்கு, மகாபலிபுரத்தில் கல்யாணம், அவர் திருச்சிக்கு வராரு அப்படின்னு வேறு ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு நியூஸ் போடுறீங்க. லைக் இது கரப்ஷன் டைவர்ட் பண்ணுற மாதிரிக்கு எங்களை. லைக் நான்லாம் இப்போ நியூஸ் பார்க்கறத விட யூடியூப் பார்த்து தான் இப்படி நடக்குது கேஸ் அப்படின்னு கற்றுக்கிறேன்.
Exactly what I wanted to point out. YouTubeல இந்த மாதிரி சில like I wouldn't say that it's exactly press media, social media differences irukku. So pressla we cover all news. We cover international news, state news, we cover everything. But when it comes to YouTube or any other social media apps, adula news inra perla, press inra perla edu vena post பண்ணுவாங்க. So you cannot count that in under press.
Okay ma, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Next I call upon Satish to talk on the topic personal and religion, how corruption is unfolding. He will be taking the stakeholder of civil society activist.
இல்லை சார், நேம்லாம் முடிச்சுல. இது கிடையாது. அதான்
Respected chair and distinguished panel members, a very bright and powerful morning to everyone gathered here. I am Satish Kumar, a civil society activist. We, the civil society, stand between the power and people, ensuring that no authority misuses its position and no citizen loses their dignity. Religion teaches us honesty, compassion and equality, but when we don't follow these values in personal life, corruption begins at home. As Gandhiji rightly mentioned, the change should begin from within. If we demand integrity from leaders but ignore dishonesty in ourselves, we become silent partners in corruption. Corruption in religious become dangerous when faith turns into business. Lack of transparency in religious institutions, donations spent for luxury purposes instead of community welfare, self-declared government exploiting the blind belief devotees, all these destroy the public trust present in the religion. Here society fails, not the God who fails. Faith must serve people, not control or exploit them. In the personal life, corruption often starts small by lying, cheating and favoritism. We justify it for family and neighbors, and over the time it will normalize as it is not an act of corruption. As Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam rightly mentioned, if you fail in your duty, you are part of corruption. Corruption creates inequality and divisions in the society and mistrust, making society ethically weak from within. We, the civil society, who is crucial in creating awareness and civic literacy, and we are making legal actions and whistleblower support for the whistleblower who are talking about corruption and preventing the corruption which stops the societal progress. We involved in investigative journalism. There is an ethical perspective which is present in corruptive activities, where corruption is not just illegal, it is immoral. It violates the dignity of the poor, exploits the innocent and destroys the social justice. Religion gave values, but we forgot to apply that in real life. If everyone imitates a corruptive action, society collapses. So corruption is not a private belief, it is a public harm, and it is decaying the societal progress and making the society as a stagnant society. So strengthening the religious institution becomes important, as corruption ends when honesty begins at home. Before pointing fingers at temples or government, we must first clean our hands. Only then the civil society truly can protect the faith, rights and democracy. Yes, thank you.
Questions? Questions? Yeah, Sharmati.
So my question is, it is the civil society responsibility to elect their government and form their government, okay? So don't you think that blaming government for corruption, in the case they are even representing, so you should be responsible for what you do?
The civil society people are
you are the one who are representing government and everything. So you are itself telling that the government is corrupt, everything. So the power is in your hand. Why are you blaming the government, I'm asking?
Yes, I am saying everyone are involving in corruption. Civil society is bridging the gap between the government and the people. So we are exposing corruption in every sector, every fields of society. We are not only saying that politicians are corrupted and public officials are corrupted. Even people are corrupted. It is people who create corruption, not the public officials or government. Yes, we are choosing the government. We are pressurizing the government. By the way, we brought Whistleblowers Protection Act. I am not pointing out on politicians or public officials. It is the duty of everyone to be ethical in every perspective.
How do you think you can change as a civil society activist?
Yes, we create awareness. We create awareness for youth people and students who are present in society.
Isn't corruption inevitable in such a large democracy?
Is corruption inevitable?
Is it not inevitable in such a large democracy?
Yes, it is very complex, but I think it is not inevitable. Corruption can be eliminated when the values are present in everyone. Not only the structural changes or not only the rules and regulations which can prevent, or only by creating anti-corruption agency we cannot eradicate the corruption. The change should begin from within. There is an ethical perspective which is present in every personality. You should create some values. So by the way, the society, as the summation of individual is society, when individual changes, the society will definitely change. So it is not inevitable.
So the clarity, I need clarity in this question is that the people who refuse to be a part of this crime become anomaly. They are almost the 2% out of the 100%. So 98% of them involved in corruption and they get the fast track record. The 2% of the people are denied because they do not give bribes or not corrupted. So they become the anomaly. So would you ask them to wait for the restorative justice to happen, or would you, what would be your solution to this?
I can't. I'm not able to say whether I can't say that that 2% of the people should wait. We are advocating for the rights of that 2% of the people. As civil society, we will be advocating for the rights of 2%. We will be advocating for the marginalized section and make sure the rights have been established by the government. As well as the constitution itself is saying, we are working for the welfare of the marginalized section of society. That's our duty.
If any civil case is happening, we don't get any severe punishments like a crime case. Why? Because the civil case having a much hirings, like even they are not getting punished at all. They can easily get a hold and live a life like what they want to live. So what's your opinion? Like we don't get a severe punishments like in
civil cases.
Yeah, civil cases.
As a civil society, what we will be doing? I'm not getting the question.
For example, real estate crimes are happening right now, yes. So they are not getting punishments till now.
For the civil cases, the justice is denying or for long delay.
You can go to the next question.
I'm not getting the exact question.
இப்போது சிவில் கிரைம்ஸ்லாம் நிறைய நடக்குது, ஆனால் கிரிமினல் கேசஸ் கொடுக்குற பனிஷ்மெண்ட் மாதிரி சிவில் கேஸுக்கு கொடுக்கறது கிடையாது. ஸோ அதுக்கு நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம்?
I think it is depending upon the priority they are giving punishment. Depending upon the priority they are giving punishment. As criminal cases are to be solved as a first.
சிவில் கேசஸில் தான் நிறையா கரப்ஷன்ஸ் நடக்குது. பெரிய பெரிய பிஸ்னஸ் கார்ப்பரேட் கேசஸாக இருக்கட்டும், இல்லை இது ரியல் எஸ்டேட்ஸாக இருக்கட்டும், பெரிய பெரிய கரப்ஷன்ஸ் எல்லாமே இந்த மாதிரி கேசஸ்லாம் மோஸ்ட்லி நடக்குது.
Yes, as civil society will be working for some strong legislation regarding that.
I'll answer that. There is a difference between wrong decisions and corrupt decisions, wrong actions and corrupt actions. And what is that difference? Wrong is your intention is to do something good, but the external factors end up in failure of businesses, of corporates, and in civil cases, as you say, tax related cases. Okay, and with respect to corrupt decision, it is an intention that you want to get money or some other favor. In return, you do a spoilage there. Your action itself is wrong. Whereas in case of wrong decision, or wrong action, your intention is correct, you do it correctly, but it ends up badly, okay, because of other factors. Okay, so that is why the differential punishments are there. And moreover, in civil cases, we don't have any imprisonment, only fine and this thing, because original possession can be retrieved.
But if we give severe punishments in civil cases also, we can reduce the corruptions, right?
Yeah, generally corruption is a criminal case, first of all, okay. The corruption that you are talking about, businesses failing or businesses not refunding the money, or loss that is occurring, or
because if, for example, if someone has steal some 1 lakh rupees, get punishment, but someone has steal like 1 crore rupees, not getting punishment at all.
You call it steal, law calls it losses. Okay, so losses can be retrieved, okay, by bailout companies.
Country, we need to secure these kinds of things in this society. So
you get her question. She's saying that when small people do, you say it is cheating, corruption. When big people are doing it, you are not saying it.
She's saying we are supporting for the elite people.
Yeah, what can be done? She's asking.
We can emphasize on strong legislation regarding that, sir. That should
okay.
be. That
Next
will be
question. Yours will be last question.
இப்போ இப்போ சேரிட்டபிள்லாம் இருக்குல்ல, ரிலீஜியஸ் சேரிட்டபிள், இப்போ ரிலீஜியஸ் பேரில் காசு கொடுப்பாங்க, அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிற இடத்துல இப்போ சில ஸ்கேம் நடக்கும், சில உண்மையாகவும் இருக்கலாம். இப்போ நீங்கள் ஆஸ் ஏ சிவில் ரைட் ஆக்டிவிஸ்டாக எப்படி மக்களுக்கு சொல்லுவீங்க, பார்த்துருங்க அந்த மாதிரி எப்படி சொல்லுவீங்க? அது மொத்தம் இல்லாமல் அது ஆன்டி ரிலீஜியஸாக இருக்கக்கூடாது, லைக் நீங்கள் ரிலீஜியஸ்க்கு எதிராக பேசலை, அந்த மாதிரி எப்படி சொல்லுவீங்க?
ஆக்சுவலாக எப்படி பார்க்கணும்னா, ரிலீஜன் இஸ் ஒன்லி ஸ்பீக்கிங் அபவுட் தி வேல்யூஸ் லைக் கம்பேஷன், எம்பத்தி and everything. Religion never say the devotees or the believers of that particular religion to involve in corruptive activities. So by the way, in nature they will be an ethical person. The follower of religion should be with compassion. Religion is another name of compassion and empathy. I don't see that religion is saying to the devotees as you be corruptive or non corruptive activities.
இருக்குது. ரிலீஜனை ஃபெய்த்தாக பாருங்கள், பிஸ்னஸாக பார்க்காதீங்க அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஐ வில் சே.
Yeah, you guys carry this beautiful tagline, civil society activist, but I'm very much interested to know what you guys are doing in ground level. Any one or two examples, the good works you are doing.
Yeah, I'm having some notable civil societies who is doing a wonderful job in upholding the democracy and development of Indian society. I'm having Janagraga, who is improving the quality of life, strengthening city governance system, systematic reforms of urban governance. And at Chennai, we are having a system called Bhumi, the youth volunteer NGO, non-governmental organization who works for the environment and community welfare for unprivileged sections. And we are having Independent Freedom Foundation in New Delhi, works for internet freedom and privacy and digital rights. Yes, these are some notable civil societies.
Good Satish, thank you for your
so
presentation and answers. Okay, so now I request Pravya to come and talk about corruption in healthcare. Okay, she is a representative of pharmaceutical industries. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Pravya. I'm just standing here talking about corruption in healthcare, representing as a pharmaceuticals company. So when we spoke about the pharmaceutical industries, it's often judged harshly, but remains one of the humanity is the greatest achievements, from the life-saving vaccines to affordable generic medicines. We earned a science in the hands of common persons. Every tablet, every vial is a story of a research, risk and endless efforts. Yes, we challenge existing the transparency, ethics and accountability, but it's always be strengthened. But says the industry itself corrupted to be ignored, the millions of lives saved. In every single day, the India Pharmaceutical Center in the particular has become a pharmacy of the world, reaching the poorest corners of Africa and Asia with the affordable medicines. And I have a data like how India is performing in pharmaceutical industries. The India is one of the best suppliers of the low cost in vaccine and the world and largest producer of generic medicines globally.
Keep the mic closer, so closer.
Globally occupying 20% shares in the global supply by the volume. So the India account is a 60% share of the global vaccines productions, is making the largest vaccine producer in the world. So the pharmaceutical industry is India is the third largest world in terms of the volumes and the 14th largest in terms of the value. The pharmaceutical sector is currently contributing around 1.72% of the country domestic gross product. The market size and investment in India is among 12 destinations for biotechnology worldwide. The third largest destinations of biotechnology is Asia Pacific, is one of India is taking one of part of it. So I didn't complete. Sorry. So we must also remember that the heart of the industry is not made of machines or money. It be a scientist, a pharmacist, and the money is made of healthcare workers who work quietly so the other can live longer and healthier lives. So together with the ethics and the foundations, the innovation have to be strengthened and build the healthcare system that transparent, accountable, and passionate. It's not just about the defense in industries; it's a defense of humanity itself. So finally, the Pharma is not a villain, it's a healer with the honest transparency and can be continue to be India proud as gift in the world. Thank you so much.
Yeah, questions? Any questions? I have a question. Yeah, Sharma.
My question is, India is producing more of cheap that people can afford. But don't you think that some cheap goods are cost of life? And it is a more dangerous. People are losing their life. And what do you think as a pharmacist?
So, see, we don't think it's a cheap. We giving a medicine for free to the poor peoples. Why means? Because India manufacturing the generic medicines. So it's obviously free and very cheap. Generic medicines are obviously, if you want to go and buy the branded medicines, it's obviously costly. It's not cheap at all.
asking that what about the cost of life we are losing sometimes, right, because of the cheap ones.
See, the pharmaceuticals company build and manufacturing designing for good medicines, not for the cost or not for the peoples to kill.
Like the thing is, I can buy something cheap, okay? I can't afford it, I'm going to buy it in the cheap and end up losing my life, right? I'm asking how, like I'm believing in you and buying something cheap and I'm losing the life. So what do you tell about that?
So, the pharmaceutical industry is actually designing to cure the medicines. You getting the cheap medicines because of the many industries actually created and do local formulations and given the free market in marketly free medicines for supplies and to make profits. That's the only issue. But the real branded medicines is not giving any side effects or it is harmless.
How can common people like me can find which is standard and which is not? I'm asking.
Actually, Indian government is Jan Anushanti stores. In Jan Anushanti stores can giving you only the generic medicines. You can be easily find it is a generic medicines. And if you go and buy in the medical shop, you can find the branded names. It wasn't branded medicines. And you know the cost easily. You can find it which is branded medicine and which is not.
Yes, Rahul.
குட் மார்னிங். ஸோ இப்போ நான் என்ன கேட்கணுன்னா ஆக்சுவலி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எனக்கு இது ஒரு பர்சனல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். ஸோ வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நான் ரெகுலராக ஒரு டேப்லெட் சாப்பிடுவேன். ஸோ அந்த டேப்லெட் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு டாக்டரால் ஒரு தனிப்பட்ட ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்னால் ப்ரிஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணப்பட்டது. எனக்கு அந்த பர்டிகுலர் மெடிசின் எனக்கு அந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் மட்டும்தான் கிடைக்குது. மற்ற ஃபார்மசூட்டிக்கலில் ஏன் எனக்கு கிடைக்க மாட்டேங்குது? அப்போ ஆஸ் அ ரெப்ரசன்டேட்டிவ்க்கும் ஃபார்மசூட்டிக்கல் ரெப்ரசன்டேட்டிவ்க்கும் டாக்டருக்கும் ஒரு லிங்க் இருக்கா?
See, actually, according to the government rules and regulations, doctors should prescribe the chemical formulation names. Do not prescribing the brand names. But why the doctor actually prescribing the brand names? It wasn't very simple and easy because one brand medicines having the combinations of four or five chemical names. So they can't able to write it all the medicines in the prescription forms. So they use a brand name as a tool to prescribe easily. And that's not compulsory. We can buy the same chemical formulation medicines for everywhere. Why we need to buy the same brand? Because every medicine is the same only.
இல்லை, எனக்கு அந்த பர்டிகுலர் காம்பினேஷன் எனக்கு அந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் மட்டும்தான் கிடைக்குதுன்ற. நீங்கள் சொல்கிறது வந்து பிராண்ட்ஸ் சொல்கிறீங்க. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்போ டோலோ அதெல்லாம் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பிராண்ட்.
No, actually, for antibiotic, antihistamine, if you buy any kinds of chemical formulations, it is available in markets hugely.
Yeah, here.
My question is that during COVID-19 pandemic, the vaccination are sold at a high cost. Do you think that the marginalized section of society is suffering because of that act of pharmaceutical company, vaccination?
Actually, during that COVID pandemic time, India has urged to create vaccines because none of the foreign companies can fund for us or none of them can giving medicines for free. So we are in urge to create our own medicines and we created Covishield and Covaxins to give free. It's not cost at all. Government give free vaccines to everyone.
Before that, I'm talking before that. Before that, they're selling it for high price. Before government.
Even now, certain medicines are in high price. Not all.
Then why you go to the private sectors? You just go to the government sector.
Thank you.
It's a little bit lengthy, so bear with me. When the pharmaceutical companies wields influence that relays 8 years of justice for a drug, which accumulates deaths along the way, and it becomes a monetary, ethical, as well as a moral corruption, right? So what measures of accountability does your board of directors or companies have?
Actually, if the pharmaceutical company design a drug, it should be patented around 20 years. After the patent completed only, we can create a generic medicines or we can sell to any other countries or any other companies. During that period, we could no else of the company can create a same medicines because Indian, not only Indian patent law, it's intellectual property rights. according to these rights, according to this protected law, we can design a drug. So it should not be misused at all.
For the clinical trials, do pharmaceutical industries take complete consent, especially from people who have very minimum understanding? For example, we have animal testing, right? So it accounts for bioethical terms. So isn't it like taking advantage of someone's innocence? So how do pharmaceutical industries take
Actually,
account?
the clinical trial is a compulsory one. Without clinical trial, how we can produce the drug in markets? How we can give to the humans? Clinical trial have some certainties because DGCI, it is an approval by the Drug Controller General of India. It is actually passing this stage only. We can go to the animal testing first of all, then human trials. So it's actually really safe. It's not harmful to the persons because we having the human concern who's voluntarily coming for the human trials at all. And if something is happened, we give a compensation. Animals, if you want to create any kinds of new drugs or new medicines to save a human life, we need to sacrifice such animals thing.
இப்போ வந்து இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் பார்மசி கம்பெனிலாம் இருக்குல்ல, அங்கே சில மெடிசன் வந்து ஒரு லைக் பில்லியன் கணக்காக போட்டு R&D பண்ணி தயாரிக்கிறாங்க. ஓகேவா, எனக்கு இது தப்பாக நான் கேட்குறது தப்பான்னு தெரில, ரிமைண்ட் மீ இஃப் ஐம் ராங். இப்போ வந்து இந்தியாவில் வந்து ஆஃப்டர் சம் பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம் அது வந்து நம்ம வந்து பேட்டன்ட் இல்லாமல் தயாரிக்கலான்னு ஒரு லா இருக்குது.
புரியல, ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல சொல்லுங்க.
லைக் இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் ஃபார்மசி வந்து ரிசர்ச் பண்ணி தயாரிக்கிற ஒரு மெடிசனை இந்தியாவில் நம்ம ஒரு ஆஃப்டர் சம் பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம், எனக்கு டைம் தெரில, நம்ம வந்து எதுவுமே இல்லாமல் பேட்டர்ன் இல்லாமல் தயாரிக்கலான்னு இருக்குது. லைக் நம்ம கொடுக்குற இது என்னென்னா உயிரை காப்பாற்றுக்கு தான் தயாரிக்கிறோங்கிறோம். பட் இது வந்து அவங்க உழைப்பை வந்து நம்ம சுரந்தது இல்லையா? லைக் தி ஒர்க் ஃபார் இட், ரைட்?
Actually, okay.
Compulsory like
I don't know.
Simple verse la da அவர் கேட்டாரு.
Okay, I'm just telling the example because it wasn't happening in history. In 90s, 40s time, in 1940, 50 time, we don't have any medicines. Even we don't have any basic medicines at all. And during that time, we facing a plague, cholera, and many of them losing their life during the time. So in 1970s, only government ordered to get a medicines manufactured in India itself. So we don't have any laboratories, we don't have any fund to create new medicines at all. So what Indian government's actually doing is we want to create a generic medicines to get a patent from the foreign peoples. So we do reverse engineering and produce generic medicines to the peoples freely and affordably.
நான் என்ன கேட்குறேன்னா,
முடிச்சிருங்க. என்ன கேட்குறது முடிச்சிருங்க.
Because due to the intellectual law only, the patent was...
நான் லா இருக்கு தெரியும், இது எத்திக்கலி கரெக்டாக, அதாவது நம்ம அவங்க உழைப்பு எடுக்கலையா?
Yeah, it was ethically right because the intellectual what the Indian patent law says, after 20 years of expiry date, we can create the same drug at all. But before, during that time, we couldn't get the same drug.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I call upon Safika. You? Yes. Ma, help with the PPT. Balamurugan தான் இன்னைக்கு PPT award ஒன்று கொடுத்து. So she's going to talk on the topic corruption in politics and bureaucracy. Political analysis. Okay, she is going to take the stakeholder of a political analyst. She is a political analyst. She is going to talk about corruption in politics and bureaucracy.
So good morning everyone, I'm Safika Dabasum, I'm a political analyst. My actual role is about finding, no sir, I'll start again, 1 second. Oh shit, so 1 second. So I'll start again, sorry. Good morning everyone, I'm Safika Dabasum, a political analyst. Basically my whole job is about binge watching what corruption does in India. So we'll move on to the next slide. Do I go pretty? Yeah, so this is the political blockbuster of our nation, which surpasses any other pan-India film of RR or whatever, Jawan or whatever. And this has been reduced to such a climate that it is not politically stimulating for anybody or disturbing for anybody. We can almost see that the entire states of India has been filled by political analysis, and this has been the records of only the past 6 months of corruption cases in India and related so. And this is the never-ending blockbuster, which is the Pride Bharat that we talk about. And next we'll go for the casting of this great blockbuster, which is the people, which is of 2 accountabilities. And we have 98% of people who are corrupt, and these are compliant, and there are 2% who are defiant of this, and those who resist are usually dismissed or they're transferred, and those who assist are awarded. And honesty is treated like a system error in the current political system. And from the Panchayat to the most prevalent stages of government, we can see that there is a fast track window for this. Next we'll see the stark examples where medicine as well as even religious institutions take the same subscription model, where the faith and futures are bought at a price, and real life scandals show that how the fast lanes are advocated and are made available because they can overpower devotion or merit. Now these are the common models of what people follow in medicine, for example, where educationals are bought through, and even parents, defeat against the purpose for which they have spent 18 years of funding their school education. And that is not, Temple Flicks is not about a religious party alone, it's about how the whole religion is being accumulated by this corruption, where you can have basic darshan and diamond divine, because there is sensitization of this. Now there is lack of accountability in India. The accountability is in 2 manners. One, it is the bureaucratic accountability, another one is the societal. We'll see the former, where bureaucratic is that the politics of the country writes a script and the bureaucratic does the production of this blockbuster, because opaque tendering, we can see electoral bonding, we can see lobbying, these all keep these running, and your file will move faster depending upon the payment it is attached to. When we have anti-corruption laws, the prevention of corrupt law which has been amended in 2018, we have Lokpal Act of 2014, it looks very strong on paper, but we have a ranking of 96 out of 180, which shows we are in a very poor position, and 38 out of 100 in the corruption perception index of 2024, the latest index, which shows that we have also reduced one ranking, which shows we have worsened in this structure. So the conviction hovers around 40%, which shows that we have criminalized bribery in law as well as normalized it in such a form. And also, now, this also bleeds into the economical impact and the climatization of a country, because according to the Transparency International 2024, about 40% of the countries, Indians admit that they pay a bribe because they want a faster lane. And also, 1.26 of the country's GDP is leaking, according to the laws, according to the sources of MOSPI, as well as Computer and Auditor General of India. This estimates that annual losses about of rupees of 92,000 crore, which if could be rerated will have significant impacts, positive impacts, and ripple effects in healthcare, education, infrastructure. Yeah. So yeah, this convenience conquers conscience when the shortcut feels quicker for change, and this is the measures. The measures have to be, I'll finish in 10 seconds, sir. The measures have to be in social auditing, where we can also take up retributive justice and reaffirmative justice, the favorite keywords of any UPSC aspirant. We can also take the name and share public boards that Rajasthan carries, the wall of integrity, because there's a lack of appreciation for people who do not enter into this crime, open data and live dashboards that Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu follow, global anti-corruption conventions that India does participate, and cross-border tracking of illicit funds. And that is a collective responsibility. Thank you.
Yeah, questions?
Hello. Good morning. ஸோ எனக்கு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நீங்கள் அனலிஸ்ட்ன்றதுனால அந்த கேள்வி கேட்குறேன். வாட் யூ திங்க் அபவுட் தி ஹானஸ்ட் கரப்ட்? Honest, corrupt.
Honest, correct.
Yeah.
Can you maybe clarify a little? Sorry.
Like honest, corruptனா ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் அவங்க வந்து அவங்க லக்ஸரிக்காக அவங்க கரப்ஷன் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. ஒரு புஷ்னால் பண்ணி ஆகணும், இல்லைனா அவங்க ஃபேமிலிக்கோ இல்லை அவங்க லைஃப்க்கோ ஒரு த்ரெட் இருக்கும் அப்படின்ற பட்சத்தில் அவங்க கரப்ட் ஆகி அந்த கரப்ஷனில் வர அமௌண்ட்டை வச்சு அவங்க நல்லது பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ தே ஆர் தி ஹானஸ்ட் கரப்ட்.
See, this is something that also obstacles the chances for reformation to happen. So when you are accumulated or being influenced by such decisions, because it has been normalized in the larger society at whole, you increase or perpetuate the problem further. So you do not put yourself into the role where you can bring it on a social change, and the problem becomes perpetuated and accumulated further. So I don't think that should be the one of the reasons where it should be normalized in any society.
Okay, my final question. Robin Hood தெரியுமா உங்களுக்கு?
Sorry?
Robin Hood.
No, can you?
ராபின் வுட் வந்து ஆக்சுவலி ஒரு கேரக்டர். அவர் வந்து இல்லாதவர்கிட்ட இருந்து எடுத்து இருக்கிறவங்கள்ட்ட இருந்து எடுத்து இல்லாதவங்களுக்கு கொடுப்பாரு.
ஓகே.
ஸோ அது ஆஸ் எத்திக்கல் ஒரு அனலிஸ்ட்டாக நீங்கள் எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க?
That is also a form of, I would say it is also a complacent way of corruption, because that restorative or retributive justice could be done in so many other ways. And I also understand that there is a social and economical disparity between those people who have access and those does not. But to enforce it from someone, to eradicate it from someone and then distribute for another is also a way where you contradict yourself on what you stand for as in corruption, because that also means you also abuse the other economical rights of the people, and it could also be done in such a legal way. But to eradicate themselves of one's monetary assets or any other, and to distribute it among themselves by a common layman is also a form of corruption, I believe.
Yeah, I have a question. Now, what happens is, in the name of political analyst, and especially in the era of social media and heated prime time debates, we have people who call themselves political analysts, but they create public opinion, a new narrative, and that too a false narrative. Okay, so we suspect that you take money from political parties and do this purposely as a political analyst.
Sir, thank you for the question. That's an interesting one. If we had practiced the measures that you mentioned, if we had taken money from political parties, we would have long back changed the careers. We stand for this career because, and we continue what our motive is, because there are so many political analysts who detach themselves from all of this political lobbying and ensure that there is a transparent as well as a very ethical mannerism in which they put out their morals and opinions, and they do not direct what the mainstream narrative is.
Many a time I find, before elections, you political analysts predict results, but after election it is entirely upside down. So are you doing the right kind of analysis?
I think when people when people do look upon it, it is not, we need to also do a background check if the political analysts are themselves. And also sometimes these are done in such a manner where other measures and factors are taken into consideration, but they do not have mostly any sway upon the public opinion, because I feel in this modern era we are all much thorough about what we do stand for and vote for. So this is just a part of the sector where private institutions as well as political parties have state-owned media and channels, and they try to lobby this and change the narrative. But there are people who are honest and want to push out the narrative that they do stand for without interacting themselves or mixing themselves with these political lobbying.
Okay, I have another doubt actually. Generally, political analyst says that they are analyzing. To analyze, you need data. Mm-hmm. Okay, individual political scientists, how do they have access to the data of the entire country or data of a particular state related to the politics of the state?
So we do have much more transparent data availability in modern areas. We have publicized accounts of governments who also ensure that those are readily available for the people, and we also have certain state governments that ensures that there is a public tracker for the schemes that they do, and there is also the other there's also the other tool that people can conveniently use, which is going to be the open data and live dashboards. And almost every other government in the country ensures that there is open data and live dashboards, such that we can have public access to this, and that not just a political analyst, even common layman can have access to this without any restrictions. And I think this is one of the most appreciative part that of legal transparency that has happened in the past decade.
Yeah.
I have a question. Since you have used economic data, I think that as a political analyst, the academic background is influencing the study and it has become very subjective. What's your take on that?
Sorry, can you repeat the second part?
Since you have used economic data, I think that academic background is influencing the political analyst study of studying the politics. I think that is subjective.
We need to understand that almost every other sector of a nation is intermixed, it is interwoven with each other. When we talk about political analysis, we need a credible or verifiable data upon which we can build our analysis, or else it becomes unethical or a baseless theory which will be dismissed easily. That is why we have source citations from CAG reports, Pricewater, which is India Outlook Manner, and also Transparency International Perspectives, because these are also international watchdogs that ensures that there is economic credibility and reliability in all the analysis you put through.
Yeah, thank you.
Last two questions. One is from Kadambari and you.
As a political analyst, you analyze the system. But are analysts complicit in normalizing corruption by calling it the political culture?
Can you repeat? I'm so sorry.
As a political analyst, you analyze the system, right? But are analysts complicit in normalizing corruption by calling it the political culture?
No, I dispute this accusation, because political analysts stand in such a manner that they detach themselves from any political lobbying or any favorable lobbying of any other institution or collaboration. We put out any narrative or any analysis that we do is entirely based on ethical standards, and they are not complicit with any other particular interest at all.
But does it normalize political culture?
No, it does not normalize political culture, because to normalize a culture, you need both accountability, and this is the form accountability where your narrative cannot be taken or cannot be a mainstream notion unless the other societal accountability is also taken into consideration. So any lobbying of this manner will not be evident in the mainstream society, because this needs both accountability.
Thank you.
Okay, you told me that this much amount is redirected, and if it is go to GDP, it will increase. You know that these amounts are redirected. So you have transparency. You know who also did it. So why can't you take a step ahead and just fight for injustice? You're a political analyst, right? You have more data than we do. So you should take a step in this big democracy, so the corruption will be eliminated, right?
Yeah, thank you for your question. I'd like to answer your question in two parts. One is that we are political analysts. We limit ourselves to ensure that there is credible accountability, and that we put out reports that people can interact through and understand. And also we need to understand that there are other areas. For example, we have activists, we have legal experts who are well versed in their domain of knowledge, who can utilize these reports and enhance them into actual credible work. And also we need to understand that the primary work we do itself is bigger than what you want us to do. You want us to go and fight for the laws, which itself has to begin from right information, and we put out the right information from which the people have to understand understand if it is right or wrong. They have to climatize with themselves, and that brings a larger proportion of people who want to fight for the rights, and that brings a bigger political movement or a socialist movement that ensures that those rights are met and are satisfied. So what we do is to understand is to start this process of social change, the social movement, and I think that is the one we remind ourselves to, because our domain of knowledge is also very credible with that.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next, yes, Amrita. Okay, she's going to talk about corruption in healthcare as a public administrator, am I right? Yeah, public health administrator. Yeah, சொல்லுங்க ராகுல். கவர்மெண்ட் டாக்டர் வேற, பப்ளிக் ஹெல்த் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேட்டர் வேற. ஆமா, அது ஒவ்வொரு இதுக்கும் ஜேடி ஜாயிண்ட் டைரக்டர் அப்படி இருப்பாங்கல்ல. ஆமாம், ஐஏஎஸ் இல்லாமல் மெடிக்கல் ஸ்டாஃபே ஒருத்தவங்க இருப்பாங்க. அது
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Amrita and I'm talking as a representative of Public Health Administrator today. So let's get the records right. India ranks at the position of 96 out of 180 nation in the Corruption Perception Index with a score of 38, just 38 out of 100. So yes, India is facing systematic errors in healthcare system, but we as a public health administrator, we are driving health programs, but we are not the source of corruption. That is my point today. And in fact, we are the solution for this issue of corruption. So before starting my argument, I would love to put one data here. The 2025 to 2026 fiscal year Indian Union budget just allocated 1.9%, just 1.9% of its total budget for healthcare. That is just 0.27% of this country's GDP. So with this stringent minimal, bare minimum budget, we the healthcare professionals are utilizing every possible resources we have to implement the best methods in all the hospitals across the nation. It may seem like an impossible task, but we are pro at it and we are doing it very well. And I'm not saying it randomly. I have proper evidence to substantiate my vision and statements. First thing is, through Ayushman Bharat, we serve over 550 million citizens. So every claim of them is properly authenticated using biometrics, and they are also tracked. Secondly, we reduced the fraudulent admissions and false claim rate by 43% in the recent digitalization process. And we also taken many legal actions against those false claims. And the third thing is, all the transactions above 10,000 rupees are monitored or processed in DigiLocker with audit trails. And if you're worrying about the digital safety, we are guaranteeing that all the data records we are having are encrypted and verified, and we are protecting them using National Digital Health Mission. And then when it comes to transparency global rating, India's best score come from our healthcare sector. Especially every rupee, every record and every patient touch point is digitally recorded, and through HMIS digitalization, we ended the era of fake beneficiaries in healthcare sector. And when you talk about inclusivity, we are also pro at it. We are training the ASHA workers and frontline workers to train all the local population where there is a digital divide, and we are training them so that they can train the people around them, so that they can utilize all the digital platforms and schemes we are providing. Thanks. Okay. I would like to conclude by saying that our operating model is based on transparency, accountability, and traceability, and we the public administrators are not a part of the problem. In fact, we are fighting in the front line and providing the solution. Thank you.
Good. I have a question. Yes. There's recently 27 children in MP died because of consumption of cough syrup.
Cough syrup.
Yeah, consumption of cough syrup. 27 children have died. Now, this is not the first time. Okay, it is repeated too often in many states across India. What you have been doing as a public health administrator, your team has been doing to stop this menace?
Yes, sir. We have several solutions already implemented. Like we launched several mobile apps like Pharma Safe or Umang app. Through that app, you can scan the barcode in your medicine so that it will navigate to the CDSCO portal that is managing all the licensing of these pharma products and all. From there, you can see whether the medicine provided is properly licensed or not. Now that we know the society is many people are being turned into corruption because on their personal will. So we brought these initiatives. We can't, previously people used to blindly believe in doctors and take all the medicines they are providing. But now it is not the situation. So we are bringing up such initiative where consumer, they can verify their own medicines. So we request all the consumers to be aware about these apps and other things so that every medicine you are getting, verify once before consumption.
What are the apps? Can you tell?
Pharma Safe and Umang app. We have two apps.
Pharma Safe and
Umang.
UMA.
UMANG. Umang app.
Umang. Yeah.
And also check every product, whether it is a normal product you are seeing in like stores or shops, verify whether it is have FSSAI license before consumption.
Now, don't you think that it has become fancy for all the departments, all the government institutions say that we have a solution, we have created an app. That is the first solution they are giving. And considering the, the amount of apps that is available and the distractions that we are having in the mobile, do you think this will be the effective way to stop the water? Because you are passing on the responsibility to the consumer. Okay, so what can be done on the institutional side?
So
I appreciate that you have created the app. Okay, it is very good thing. Okay, but what is institutional side?
Sir, I think app is the best initiative because through app we can reach every nook and corner of the nation, which the officials in person they can't reach. I think it is the best way to reach them digitally, and having an app, like we can train them very easily. The app also have very user-friendly UI, so that they can test on their own. We are giving people the app, you test on their own. Wherever you go, you test on your own. So that is one freedom the people also having, rather than they have to go to visit clinics or centers to verify the medicines. They can verify whatever they are consuming on their own. I think app is the first best solution in this digital era.
Okay, you're telling me that you have so many apps to do things, okay? Like, I am a common man from a village which doesn't have digital service. I don't have a smartphone. And what about me? What service do I have that the medicine I'm taking is good for me and it's like a valid one, the standard one? How will I know it? How the common man? Because we are the diverse society. We have much of common man rather us. So we should be concerned about them more than the elite society, right?
Question, put it in a question format.
It's like, what is the solution for the people?
Yeah. So to address that digital divide, only we are launching schemes like we are training ASHA workers. You may know about ABBA cards, which is registering our record into online. Many people don't have internet access. What we did in that case, we trained the ASHA workers, frontline workers to go each and every house and collect their data and teach them how to do it. That is the part we can do as of now with the budget we have. We can't provide smartphones to every home. So we can train one worker in every village so that if any person who is facing digital divide, they can approach that person.
Don't worry. Don't worry. The elections are coming 2026. Probably we'll get smartphones.
We hope so.
This question is from Kavitra, a co-panelist. So, to what extent do you think corruption is driven by public sector weaknesses versus private contractors, versus private sector interaction? For example, private contractors, public-private partnership, also outsourced labs or diagnostics.
I'm not getting the question properly.
To what extent do you think corruption is driven by public sector weaknesses versus private sector interaction? For example, like private public partnership, and then contractors, outsourced labs or diagnostics.
So you are asking about the corruption in outsourcing.
Yeah.
We are getting the contracts. Firstly, I would say we are having very less budget. We can't afford costly machines, costly equipments we have. So what we can do is, and also we don't have time to train people to do everything by ourselves. For that reason, we are outsourcing it. And there is no intention of corruption in that. We are having so much things in our bucket to focus. We can't take time to train and put all our time in one thing. So we are outsourcing. That's the intelligent way of distributing our work and get it done in a better way.
Okay. So Kavitra has one more question. Okay.
Yeah, please. Last 3 questions.
How do you ensure that programs are responsive and adaptive when new health threats emerge, like pandemic, environmental hazards?
How we are ensuring programs are
responsive and adaptive when new health threats emerge?
The last word a little bit slower, no?
Okay. So we have some programs like PM Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission. So we are thinking about the future pandemics and everything, and we are preparing ourselves, and we are building a pandemic ready infrastructure already. So through that precautious measures and initiatives, we are making sure that we are capable to face any situations which are upcoming to us. And also about our efficiency, we are monitoring them. Everything is digitalized. People can also see. So as everyone can see, our workers are also motivated to show their 100% in a digital mode.
I have a question.
You have another question?
Yeah, I have a question for myself.
Soon.
Have you been investigated or fined for non-compliance with regulations? And what steps do you take to prevent corruption and ensure compliance?
What steps we take to ensure
compliance?
Yeah, we have some acts like Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, Drug and Cosmetic Rules 1945, Drugs, Medical Devices and Cosmetic Act, which recently passed in 2025. All these acts is there in health sector to make sure corruption is not there, and even if it is done, strict actions are taken against them. Also, we have consumer helpline. If people are finding any corruption activities, they can report to us and we will take necessary measures.
குட் மார்னிங். ஸோ எனக்கு டைமில் அதனால் 2 ஷார்ட்ஸ் கொஸ்டின், நீங்களும் அதை ஷார்ட்டாகவே ஆன்சர் பண்ணலாம். ஸோ வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இப்போது சிபிஐ பற்றி பேசியிருந்தீங்க, 96 out of 180 நம்ம கரப்ஷன் இதில் இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு. ஸோ டென்மார்க் அப்படின்றது தான் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிளேஸில் இருக்குது. ஸோ அவங்க வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 10% ஆஃப் ஜிடிபி வந்து இது ஹெல்த்தில் வந்து போடுறாங்க. பட் வி அரவுண்ட் 2 point something தான் நம்ம வந்து பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ அதுக்கு என்ன நம்ம பண்ணலாம்? வாட் ஆர் த ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் கேன் வி டூ? உங்கள் பர்செப்ஷன். ஸோ செகண்ட் கொஸ்டின் என்ன அப்படின்னா,
first let her answer the first question. Yes.
Yeah, that is our issue also. We are torturing the ministry to allocate more funds, but they have some other priorities. We know the war is happening around us, so they have few other priorities also. We are constantly requesting them. It is the change in the mind of the policy makers that we needed in the current days.
But you spoke about military now?
Indirectly.
Okay, but actually we have reduced our military expenditure by 10% in the past 3 years.
Yeah, but that is much higher than what we are spending for healthcare, education and other things and all.
Okay.
ஸோ செகண்ட் கொஸ்டின் என்ன அப்படின்னா, இப்போ இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் எல்லாமே வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா யார் அதிகமாக பே பண்ண முடியுமோ அங்கே இருக்கிற இடத்துல தான் நல்ல ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் இருக்குது. ஸோ அதை எப்படி நான் சொல்கிறேன் அப்படின்னா, இன் வில்லேஜஸ் ரூரல்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 12,000 people to 13,000 people 1 doctor அப்படின்ற கணக்கில், இங்கே வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா சிட்டிஸில் 700 peopleக்கு 1 doctor. ஸோ அப்போ அதுவுமே ஒரு ஃபார்ம் ஆஃப் நியூ கரப்ஷன் மாதிரி தானே, எங்கே இருக்கோ அங்கே நிறையா இருக்குன்ற மாதிரி.
நீங்கள் என்ன சொல்கிறீங்கன்னா, யாருனால அதிகமாக பே பண்ண முடியுமோ அங்கே காஸ்ட் அதிகமாக இருக்குது.
அங்கே ஃபெசிலிட்டி அதிகமாக
ஓகே, ஃபெசிலிட்டி அதிகமாக இருக்குது. நான் அதை வந்து ரிவர்ஸில் பார்க்கணுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். எங்கே ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் அதிகமாக இருக்கோ அங்கே காஸ்ட் அதிகமாக இருக்குது. நம்ம கவர்மெண்ட் பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் we don't have to provide the latest fashion technology everything into medicine field. We just need to have what is needed. That's what we are doing in rural areas. We just have what is needed. But in urban areas there are so many competitions among hospital itself. So they need to shine among their competitors. They are buying all the equipments from abroad and they are rising the cost.
ஸோ இல்லை வாட் இஸ் நீடட் இன் ரூரல்னு சொன்னீங்க. பட் ப்ரைமரியிலலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்போ பெரிய பெரிய இஷ்யூஸ்லாம் நம்ம போனோம்னா இங்கே ட்ரீட் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, பெரிய ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் எடுத்துகிட்டு போங்க, அங்கே போகிறதுக்குள்ளே உயிர் பிரிஞ்சிருது. ஸோ தட்ஸ் இல்லை ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டாக நான் வைக்கிறேன். தட்ஸ் இட். தேங்க்யூ.
தட் இஸ் பிக் இஷ்யூ. ஓகே, ஸோ ஈஸியான வேலையை மட்டும் செஞ்சுட்டு காசு வாங்கிக்கிறது. ஓகே,
இப்போ ஆயுஷ்மான் பாரத்தை பற்றி பேசுனீங்க. லைக் இன் உத்தரப்பிரதேசில் வந்து லைக் மே மாதம் வந்து 39 ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் வந்து மோர் தென் 6,000 ஃபேக் கிளைம்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. லைக் இட்ஸ் அரௌண்ட் 10 crore அளவுக்கு உங்களுக்கு லாஸ். நீங்கள் காசு இல்லைங்கிறீங்களே, இந்த 10 crore வந்து நீங்கள் லாஸ் தடுத்துருந்தா அந்த காசு இருந்திருக்குமா? லைக் இதை வந்து நீங்கள் கவனிக்காமல் விட்டீங்களா, இல்லை யூ ஆர் ஆல்சோ இன் த பார்ட் ஆஃப் டெட்?
I don't agree with both the answer. Like we are not seeing it or we are ignoring it. I'm not agreeing with both statement. The thing is like we are starting the digitalization. We just reduced 43% of false claims. We are in the process. Along as India is developing, we are also developing our infrastructure and digital platforms, and soon that will be reduced to 100%. We will reduce all the false claims.
one last question. Okay, Satish.
I think there are a lot of questions which have been raised. I think you are using budget as an escapism. What is your take on that? And I'm having another question. A comparative model, countries like Rwanda and Thailand have achieved near zero leakages in health schemes. What prevents India Public Health Administration from such models? And my first question should be given more emphasis. I'm asking that question. Whether you are keeping that as escapism?
First thing, the comparison of India with Rwanda and Thailand, I am not agreeing with that comparison itself, because India is the world's most populous country and with a budget of 1.9. That is our first problem. I am not using as an escaping statement. Our major problem is the budget allocation. If we got more, but with less budget itself, we have 120 plus good schemes. Imagine if we have more and more budget, like at least 3%, we can do much more benefits to the people. So that is our major problem and I am putting forward it. That's not an escaping statement.
I think you are justifying your ineffectiveness with that of budget. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. So, we have done with today's panel discussion. Am I audible? Loud and clear? Yes. So, yesterday also we had panel discussions with similar topics. Most of them have selected corruption in politics and bureaucracy. Understandable. Okay, and health also you have chosen. It is corporate and NGO. Okay, that topic nobody has chosen, stakeholders. Okay, so which means you think that corporates are good, NGOs are always good, I don't know. Okay, but at least finals, okay, we need two representatives, one for corporate, one for NGO, who stands here as a stakeholder. Okay, so a brief on each of the topics has been given in yesterday's panel, so I don't want to waste time. Now, results and the stakeholder topics for the finals, which will be taking place at site of us, that is the new campus of KingMakers IAS Academy, 3rd floor. Timing is 5 p.m. We start at 5 p.m. Okay, so our beloved students, now after finishing your classes, you have half an hour space, you can come be an active participant, okay, in the King's panel. So for you also you have time for preparing, okay, till 5:30. Results in an hour or two, okay, will be announced, as well as stakeholders. Immediately after announcing the stakeholders, you shall choose it. We are using two criteria to allocate the stakeholders. One is marks. Okay, so those who scored a highest mark will be given the highest preference. Okay, they will be given highest preference, and then second preference. So when they choose topics later on, and that is why, okay, we make calls to you or personal text to you, like WhatsApp text, and ask you which stakeholder you are taking. So next 2 hours, any message is coming, don't come and tell that, sir, I did not see the message, why did you allocate? Okay, so definitely for another 1 hour, 45 minutes, it's not going to come, so have your lunch, okay, and after that, be ready. Okay, so we'll first make a text and wait for your reply. If it's not coming, we'll make a call and then ensure it. Okay, but don't make difficult for us to making us call. Okay, புரியல அது இப்போதுலேருந்து ஒரு 1 hour. Okay, exactly 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours. So after 45 minutes, be alert. Okay, to choose your topics and start preparing, effectively. Innone questions also. Don't prepare for your topics alone. You make your opponent stumble on the stage, you get the prize. Remember, there are 2 ways. Okay, defensive and offensive. You are playing only the defensive game. That is, you are playing safe, coming and just delivering your answering. Okay, you need to raise questions so that the opponent's weakness points are coming out. So you maintain the range to get the prize. Competition is competition. I am not telling you to go around or make some corrupt practices. Okay, this is agreed practice to compete with strategies. Okay, tactics. And in the process, you ensure that the discussion is of high quality, intellectual output comes in solution. அதுக்கப்புறம் solution oriented presentations. Your presentations is lacking solution. Yesterday also I told the same thing, especially in the final round. Okay, whichever stakeholder is getting, you first defend yourself, and there will be certain points where really there is problem, corruption in your own stakeholder issue. Maybe if you are a corporate, there are certain issues. NGO, there are certain issues. Public health instructor, health manager, there are issues. Okay, education, health, there are issues. The common issues and the solution. The last thing is the solution that you should already say. Don't make us ask that as a separate question. Okay, the questions will be like asking about the dilemmas that you face, okay, during decision making, during your administration as a stakeholder. Okay, the dilemma areas alone, the questions will be asked. Okay, so sometimes because you don't present that and we ask for solution, the time for asking critical questions is not available. Okay, so ensure that when the next finals, we'll meet you tomorrow 5 o'clock. Okay, all the best for all of you. Thanks for coming, especially the audience, 3 musketeers. Okay, so for being here and asking very valuable questions. Thank you one and all. See you tomorrow. Thank you. The place is there, new building, not here. Okay, so tomorrow 5 o'clock. Come early, 45 minutes, because your PPTs has to be downloaded, and then we have to check whether it is going. And audio visuals, if you have anything, audios, you have to check whether it is working. புரியல இல்லை இவங்க